You did it! Hey, buckaroos and buckarettes. It's good to be back with you. Today I'd like to tell you about this spiff little guitar I made. Just finished it a couple of days ago and I thought it'd be worth a video. Now I'm fascinated with the idea of small guitars. There's a lot of small players out there who have a hard time finding a guitar to fit them. Small guitars are easy to carry around, and although it's a little less obvious, small guitars can be built in, wait for it, small places. Not all of us have the luxury of a shop big enough to be cranking out super jumbos. And so this was an experiment. It's got a lot of interesting features, or ones I hope you'll find are interesting. And let me tell you about them. So the first thing is the body shape. This is basically shaped kind of like a lute. Now it doesn't have the round back on it. It's got a 25-foot radius back, just like a lot of guitars do. But it's shaped like a lute. I'll call it a lute guitar, maybe a galoot. And it's got a 20-inch scale length. Now the smallest conventional guitar scale length you see is about 23, 22, something like that, like a Baby Taylor or one of the three-quarter size Fenders, the MA1's one I used to have. So this is 20 inches. This is like a really big ukulele. It's got 6 strings, so this is not a uke, it's a guitar. If you know how to play a guitar, you can play one of these. One of the cool features is it has ukulele tuners on it. Now these aren't the conventional geared tuners that you're used to seeing. These are some new ones by Graph Tech, and they're all plastic, so they weigh next to nothing. They've got a gear system in here. It's not really planetary, but it's equivalent to planetary. So the tuning knob is coaxial with the tuning post. And it's got a 6-to-1 gear ratio on it. A little low. I would like to see more than that, but not bad, especially for nylon strings. It's working really well on this. Every reason to think it would work very well on ukuleles. Part of the reason I made this guitar was to try out these tuners, and so far I love them. Now I'll have to see how they hold up. I'm still new at it, but from what I've seen so far, they're great. From what I see so far, I recommend them. Because they're uke tuners, I have to have a thin headstock here, a uke thickness headstock, and that's what this is. The head plate on it is rosewood, and it's the same piece of rosewood I used for the fretboard. So the grain on the fretboard extends all the way up onto the head plate. Now, I'm at Purdue University, and the people who maintain the grounds here occasionally cut a tree down, and once in a while I can get a piece of it. So the back plate here, this back part on the headstock here, is a piece of walnut from a tree cut on Purdue's campus, which is pretty cool. The neck is, let's see, that's African mahogany. The back and sides are sapele. The trim is sycamore. And let's see, the little tail wedge there is wavy maple. The top is quarter sawn Sitka spruce. And I like the supplier I've got for this one. This is Alaska Specialty Woods. And all their wood is salvaged or recovered. They're not going out blazing their way through the beautiful forest, cutting down trees just so I can have a guitar. This board had a life before I got it. I don't know what it was, dock, bridge, something or other. They took it apart or maybe found a tree that was down in the forest for natural reasons and gave it a second home. And so here it is with me. So I love this. The bridge is torrefied maple, so it's light but still relatively stiff, works really well. The nut and saddle are both bone, and it's got fan bracing on the inside of it. And I also put a live back on it. It's an X-braced, an X-braced back that has a nice tone to it. It taps pretty well. The fundamental resonant frequency on this thing is about 122 hertz, which is awfully low for an instrument this small. This thing has a lot more bass than you think it would. Every guitar likes an E chord. If it doesn't sound good playing an E, it's just not going to sound good. So here we go. Not bad for a guitar this small. Not bad. So one other thing about this one is that I've modified the fret spacing and intonated the nut just a little bit to try to make sure it's on pitch all the way up the neck. And it really is. The intonation's quite good all the way up to the 12th fret here. And it's a 12th fret neck, pretty much. The 12th fret is right there, so right about where my finger is right there. So, I mean, the first one I've made of these, and it's I like it. I think it's a bit of a success, if I do say so. Now, I'm not the kind of guy who can leave well enough alone just because this works fine. The next one I make is going to have steel strings. I'm going to find some 18-to-1 tuners, some rovers or something to put on it. So stay tuned. The next one of these will be the same size, but it'll have steel strings. Hope you like it, and we'll talk to you next time.